road trip. One of my favorite stories I tell all the time on him is he's from Wisconsin and he regularly drives back from Corvallis to Wisconsin, and he drives, his wife flies, he picks her up at the airport when she arrives there after driving 32 hours to get there. He likes that. He's well known for being a cheesehead and very proud of his Wisconsin heritage. Although these cheeseheads are kind of new style fashion, he's very proud of wearing them. And he's been our boss for 25 years now. Well, I'll give the history here. Graduated from the University of Wisconsin. He actually worked for Dick Converse, who some of you guys may know if you've been around long enough, was sort of the father of a lot of virology and berry crops. And Bob worked as a postdoc with Dick. Then he went to work for Ag Canada for, there you see it, 13 years. He was very involved with raspberries and strawberries, particularly at that time, and started into the blueberries as shock became an issue and scorch became an issue. And then he's been working with us at the USDA since 1995. I'm doing great. I don't know where that "how are you" came from. Somebody on the phone. Getting cut off there a little bit, but Bob's a fantastic virologist. He's known as one of the top, if not the top, small fruit virologists in the world. And we lose track of that because he's so self-deprecating and he's right in our backyard. But he's developed a raspberry that was resistant to raspberry bushy dwarf. And if the public felt different about GMO type genetically engineered things, we could have a bushy dwarf resistant Meeker. But it sits on the shelf right now, but it's a pretty amazing accomplishment. He's identified lots of viruses. Some of us live in fear of him because every time he discovers a virus, we need to clean up our material more. Luckily, he does the cleaning. But he's very, very involved in discovering and how to deal with a lot of different viruses over the years. And especially more recently, he's taken over the National Clean Plant Network, which is what supplies clean plants to your nurseries. You know, whether it's Northwest Plant here in your backyard or North American Plant, or any of these nurseries get their clean plants through Bob Martin's program. It's very critical work that he does to then in turn help the growers get the best foot forward when they're getting started. So he's been received numerous awards from his professional societies, whether it's American Phytopathological Society, where he's a fellow, which is about their highest honor as long as you're living. And so we don't want him to get any higher honors because that means he's not living anymore. But he's also very involved with wine grapes and all the crops. He likes to be out in the field. That's where he is happiest. Sometimes growers fear him coming because he's always looking for problems in your field. And nobody gets such joy over problems in your field as Bob, which can be frustrating, but it's all well-intentioned. And he likes to have fun. He likes to go interact with colleagues and family around the world. He's worked with all the plant breeders. He's you know, on the release notice for multiple blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries and raspberries because he provides such a critical role in our programs. One of my favorite publications that he wrote was Plant Breeders as Virus Vectors. And I try to avoid being that. For the last 12 years, he's been the research leader of the USDA lab in Corvallis, Oregon. So not only was he doing a full-scale breeding program, virology program and the Clean Plant Network, but he was also our boss. He's really good at encouraging camaraderie, he's the perfect boss. Everybody will tell you that in our unit because he supports you in what you're doing, tries to make your life have the least amount of administrative nonsense in it, and he tries to make your life so you can do the research you want to do. In this case, people wonder what this picture, we had one of our technicians on site who died about 3 months after he retired, which was very unfortunate. Pete was known for flannel shirts and always having a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Most of those people are having candy cigarettes hanging out of their mouth, but it was to celebrate the passing of Pete, who was a great USDA person. We like to have fun. Every winter we do snow angels. As soon as the snow falls, which you only get about 2 or 3 opportunities to do this in Corvallis every winter, there's the call that goes out that today's the day to make snow angels. Somebody thought it looked like I pushed him down in that one picture. Nothing could be further than the truth. I was helping him up. With the Northwest Center for Small Fruit Research, he's played a critical role as the center got going. We were just at the center meeting over in Ferndale yesterday, and we were talking about the number of different projects that have been funded through that, and the amount of research dollars that have been brought into the Northwest to support the Northwest Center. It's, you know, you can look into the fine details here, but it's supported research in Idaho, Washington, Oregon. It's supported WSU, OSU, USDA. It's supported pretty well across the different crops and brought in resources to fill the holes where the commodities couldn't fill in. And Bob's been very critical in keeping that going. Bob has a few passions. One of them is family. If you look at these pictures, you'll see Helen Martin in there, and his wife of 44 years or something. It's been a long time, and it's a great partnership, and it's still going strong. You know, while Bob is really encourages both WSU and OSU when it comes to research, when it comes to women's basketball, he's a diehard OSU fan. No apologies there when you have the #5 team in the country. He likes to get outdoors, and as you'll see throughout these pictures, it's family outdoors, him outdoors, and then he loves wine. He loves making wine, and he makes darn good wine. He also has kids and grandkids who he loves to play with. He's a great grandpa. A couple of his quotes, and one of them got, I think, cut off there, but, you know, it's all about family. He has a t-shirt that he often wears. You don't choose your family. They're God's gift to you as you are to them. And then the other one I won't quite get right because I can't read up there, but he's known for getting lost. And so I think it's all who wander are not lost is a very popular phrase. So we've been very fortunate to have him as a scientist, as a colleague, as a boss, as a friend, and as somebody who really has the best interest of the small fruit industries, going with him every day to work. And I just want to acknowledge that and thank Bob for 25 years or whatever it is of service to the berry industry in the Northwest. Stand up, Bob, or come up here if you want to say something. Come on up. Yeah, you got to use the microphone.
So Inga, that's why we had to leave the meeting when we did. Thank you very much, Chad. And I enjoy what I do. I sometimes feel guilty getting paid. I never regret or dread a day going to work. It's fun. I've had a blast. And I enjoy going to a grower's field as much to a professional meeting. And I've been lucky. All the industries I've worked in have been extremely supportive. I have had a number of growers tell me, I hate to see you excited in my field because that means I have a problem, but it's okay. You know, somebody's garbage is somebody else's treasure. And anyway, I've really enjoyed working with the growers, all the stakeholders here, Canada, Oregon, and I'm really glad I had that opportunity. Thank you. Okay, the USDA won't start the hiring process till I retire, which means I'm retiring December 31st. And right now, they don't do anything fast. And we have one that's been vacant for over 3 years. So, but I talked to some of the administrators that were at the meeting yesterday, and they gave me some ideas of how industry can prod them to move a position higher on the queue. And I'll talk to people about that after I retire. Well, technically I can't do that as a USDA employee, but I can do that January 1st or 2nd. Yeah, so I've written a proposal to say, keep the National Clean Plant Network part of it going, you know, until we get a replacement, but not 5 years. Hopefully not more than 1 or at the most 2 years. Yeah. So.
So the next item on our agenda is to award the Golden Berry Award. So the Golden Berry Award is something that Washington State University has developed as a way to recognize several of the many growers that have contributed to Washington State University and have developed a relationship with some of the many scientists that have enabled us to do our various research and extension activities with the goal of helping to advance the industry. And so this year, the recipient is Kevin Berenson. So Kevin would like to come up here. We're going to be presenting him with an award. See, he's thrilled, but this is not a roast. I think that's always a good way to preface this. This is just a way for Washington State University to recognize all of your contributions that you've done to help with the research and overall helps with the industry as well. So for those of you that don't know Kevin, Kevin is the agronomist at Infield Farms. In addition to overseeing all of the complex activities happening at Infield Farms, he still manages to serve the industry. He serves as the chair, as a berry industry representative for the Washington State Commission on Pesticide Registration. He's also remained active and involved with the Washington Blueberry and Red Raspberry Commissions. And through these activities, he's provided invaluable insight that keeps us informed as researchers. And he also provides advice and input that helps keep the industry organized and moving forward. So aside of all this involvement with the commissions and the industry, a little bit more about what he does with research scientists if you don't know. He's been very gracious in providing his intellectual support and his time and helping oversee research trials get done and they get done correctly. And also the high quality work that we hope to achieve is completed. And this can be particularly challenging during peak periods of the production season, but Kevin has always been a very reliable communicator and helping us keep informed so that we can make sure that our trials are getting completed. So on behalf of the research community, Kevin, we wanted to thank you and give you this Golden Berry Award. So thank you.
So I'm introducing the next speaker. Having him come and talk was my idea, so I asked to introduce him.